Welcome to our today's physical panel session and CC-Webinar.Live session. My name is Laura. I am media manager in Carrier Community. In this session, I would like to first of all thank you IPB for it was before IPB for sponsoring this session, and Stefan for sharing his welcome note with us later on. Also, I would like to thank Eric for moderating the panel and our panelists for joining us here and also joining us virtually. So I'm just hand over to Stefan now to present his welcome note to us. So Stefan, maybe you come here so people can see you.
Okay. Okay, so hi everybody. It's a pretty new situation for us or for me due to the all well-known situation we have worldwide. We have this mixed setup, which is a way into hybrid, which is in a special way also the way we will find in the future in the data and data business and collocation scene. So it's good to have this mixture. And first of all, I want to say thank you to Global Carrier Community to have the opportunity to have this panel here and to have the chance to say some words to our company. But of course, we have a theme that is a topic that is very important we discussed today. And I just take this little slide to have a point to connect to our topic. So we are a family-based company, which is not very usual in this market. We founded this company 23 years ago. So we did it through .com crash version 1.0. We expect something to happen in the future, of course. So we are pretty stable through this crisis. We started with having some internet services in 1997, which was pretty good idea, but the market was overrun. And so we had 5 to 6 very turbulent years. And in 2003, we started this collocation project labeled Carrier Collocation. And this is what you see today. So we have 2 data center sites in Berlin and are operating. It's just the biggest data hub within the east of Germany. Meanwhile, so we have over 100 autonomous systems in our facilities, which is a lot of autonomous systems for Berlin. We talked about Manhattan before, but the real capital of German internet, I have to say this is, of course, Berlin, not only because of carrier communities based in Berlin, but also we have 2 very important exchange points. We have IXPs on the agenda today. And the Berlin Commercial Internet Exchange is based in Berlin, of course, and the E6, or now known as Megaport, is also based in Berlin. And of course, we have a lot of possibilities here to make political influence with the other aggregations of companies. Let's say ECO is very important in Berlin, and so we are proud, of course, to be a part of this local scene here, but not only local. Being connected to the world is what we are. So we have very large customers from worldwide, and that's a topic that fits well to one point fits well to our topic today. During our collocation business, we could experience that many operators of cloud services and public cloud services didn't just use other carriers for their services, but also did build own networks and own network capacities in a really huge amount. So we have POPs of that's public information from peering database like Apple or Facebook. or AWS that are very big players, but we are also very good connected to the local scene, and that's our business, to being good connected to also the small companies and so-called Systemhäuser, which are delivering more and more cloud services to local customers, but also to the world with its large customers. So that's what I want to say today, and I'm very happy to see some faces we know from the past. So Eric, and of course Jens Ruchters is in the panel, which I know from formerly interview times here. And so thank you for the possibility.
Well, thank you very much, Stefan. It was again enlightening. So we know again, and it's on everybody's eyeball again, that who to do with implement once it's needed. And thank you very much for sharing your overview and how you see things. So thank you very much, and thank you for sponsoring this panel session. Which brings me actually to the bridge to say thank you to my fellow panelists here live and on the web, so virtually. I'll give them a quick minute to introduce themselves, and you might maybe hear one or two scoops, and if not, trust me, we'll try to get it out of you, and I will create one. So Jens, Stefan was talking about Manhattan, so the floor is yours. And
yeah, I made a comment, so I think Stefan, we will have to continue that discussion about the capital of internet, whether it's in Berlin or in Frankfurt. It's not decided yet, I would say.
Yeah. Or somewhere in between, that could also.
Somewhere in between, yeah. Thanks God it's not Bielefeld or so. But anyway, yeah, thanks. Yeah, so Jens, thanks also for the opportunity participating the panelists. We discussed earlier, I came on board on the very last minute. So I was quite happy to participate, like, you know, it's a long time that we have been to an event, and thanks to global carrier community that we are having that event in Berlin, also as a hybrid event, because it's very important for us in the industry that we meet on a regular basis and that we discuss various topics and issues, and it cannot be done everything virtual. You need to meet and greet the people and talk to them. That's from my point very, very, very important. So thanks for that opportunity. So I'm here, I'm the managing director of Newtaco. We are headquartered in Frankfurt, in the internet capital city of Germany. Yeah, I'm pretty new to Newtaco. I joined last year in November, but I'm not new in the industry. Joined telecoms in 1993, I guess, long time ago. So, and I was mainly responsible for sales, and I was working on both sides with the wholesales as well with the enterprise business amongst the various services that we have offered our market at the time. So, yeah, that's me.
Okay, thank you, Jens. And I think now we're gonna go over, before we go to the Berlin guys. We'll go all the way, a long way, but still very close to us, and especially close to our, let's say, wholesale industry heart. Maxime.
Yeah.
We go to Moscow.
Yeah. Gentlemen, yeah. So thank you for, first of all, for invitation, and I can only join Jens' impression that that's great to see such interesting formats. I would say that's I have to congratulate the carrier community, because you definitely brought some innovation in modern situation that now the people so the most of people just trying to be purely virtual. And for me, as a big lover of physical conversations and meetings, that's great that we see the first light on the sky in terms of the way how people organizing this hybrid format is great. And I'm really would wish to be with you physically, and I'm sure so that the times will come soon. Then the life will go as usual. Yeah, and talking about myself, I'm responsible for international carrier wholesale business in Rostelecom. So yeah, we definitely with most of you met before, and for sure we'll meet in the future. So, and just before we start like a conversation around proposed topics, I can only tell that once again, the great that we continue to communicate, because actually our industry, and especially wholesale and carrier industry, and our segment of the businesses became all of a sudden like not only commodity in terms of the price drop, etc., but also the commodity in terms of being essential for the people. So, and that's why I'm still very excited to be part of this industry, and yeah, we'll be happy to share so my points of view and experience with you guys and the audience, of course. Yeah, thank you.
So thank you, Maxime, and we're glad to have you. Please remain upon us as you did for many years, and thank you for your valuable contribution to the industry and to the carrier community. So thank you to both of you. So moving now to Berlin, let's say our headquarter here, and I'm very happy to see, let's say, next to you being hybrid. I'm happy to see those guys here next to me being alive here, and John
being alive,
and staying alive, alive. We were discussing music yesterday evening, even late.
Yes,
we had some fun, but now it's back to business. And John, please take the floor and tell us who you are.
Well, I was actually very interested to hear that expression, you know, hybrid again, because, you know, people have been talking about hybrid cloud for a long time, right? And now here we have epitomizing all that. I think, you know, a hybrid event. I got to take my hat off, you know, to the organizers of this, because it actually seems to work quite well. And I think, you know, this is part of the future. It's here now. It's going to stay with us for a while, I'm afraid. You know, but we are where we are. So I can see the guys in Moscow, the guys in Frankfurt, the guys here. And I think it's a tribute actually to our combined industries, right, that this can actually happen. And so in a way, it's a kind of a celebration as well, you know, because we're all representing all these technologies that come together to have us here live, talking in front of a camera and a microphone, and yet also having other panelists in other countries a long way away, and, you know, with a global audience, I guess, right, receiving.
Correct.
So, you know, I think we should congratulate ourselves that we're able to do this at this particular point, you know, in history, which is not a very easy position to be in at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So I represent a company, I'm actually at the end of the chain here, representing a data center, and you might all called Iron Mountain. And you might think, well, what on earth is a data center? You know, well, why are we here? Well, the reason is
tell us.
Well,
what are you doing here?
You could be the biggest, best, most beautiful data center in the world, but all you are then is a digital island, right? If you can't get out there, if those companies can't pump their information or whatever it is they need into their servers, into your data center, and then back out again, you know, then you can't do anything. You're of no value. So you only have lots of value as a data center, really, if you also have the connectivity, let's say, the connectivity platforms, the IX platforms, the wholesalers, and that whole ecosystem in your data centers. So that's why we're here, because those ecosystem players or network players, they're all here. So that's why we are here.
Now, thank you for your kind words as well, but you've been a little bit humble, because I think you might be the oldest data center in the world.
I thought you were going to say the oldest guy. All right.
Thought about it, but I'm always polite to the gentleman. But actually, you're the oldest one. So tell us, I mean, just in a nutshell, Iron Mountain, how did you start? It was not.
Interesting question. Actually, interesting question. I mean, we actually we're a mature startup. And what do I mean by that? We actually started about 70 years ago in the 50s.
70.
In the 50s, right? And we started off as an analog storage company. So what is that? That's where you store paper. You know, everybody had to keep papers. Lawyers have to keep papers for 7 or 12 years or whatever. Companies didn't know what to do with their records, except that they knew they had to keep them somewhere safe. So we kept them for them. And then that grew into slightly more analog electronic, such as cartridges, tapes, this kind of business. And that grew, by the way, that's over a 4 billion a year business. So it's a real business. But then the question is, you know, in this day and age, like 21st century, digital transformation, all those enterprises out there making this transformation, right? Trying to leapfrog, trying to get ahead, right? How do you help them? Where do you go? And the answer is, instead of storing the information in an analog form, store it in a digital form, because it's much quicker to get to, it's much quicker to access, it's much quicker to change, it's much quicker to analyze it in that digital format. And where are those digital formats, that digital information stored? In a data center. So that is how, you know, we thought of transitioning from just an analog company to a digital company. That transition started some 5 or so years ago. And since then, you know, it's just been booming. We have data centers in the US, we have them in Europe, we have them in Asia Pac. And I have to say, this year we've had a tremendous year. And it's not all due to COVID. Mm-hmm. It's also due to the fact that there is this huge demand for data center services by hyperscalers, by wholesalers, by retailers. And all that's all coming together now. We foresee, you know, a really positive future for the industry.
Mm-hmm. Good to hear. And thank you for the story, because every time I hear it, I love it. 70 years in the business. Yeah. Not a lot who can say this. But thank you very much, John. Pleasure. Eric, we stay a little bit in the Netherlands, if I may say so, John. But Eric, so please, thank you very much for being here as well. And
thank you.
The floor is yours. Tell the people who you are, what you do.
Yeah, my name is Eric as well, like you. And I'm very pleased to be here today in person, because I remember the last time we met 3 months ago, we had a panel discussion and it was completely virtual.
Correct.
Now it's a hybrid solution. Very interesting that it's actually working, and it also proves that there's actually light at the end of the tunnel, and there are possibilities to do it this way, and it's working well. So I'm really pleased to be here and carrier community offering this opportunity. So my name is Erik Verhoef. I'm with NetIX. NetIX is a global service provider of internet exchange services. It's pretty broad what we offer. Our headquarters is based in Sofia, in Bulgaria, and we have more than 100 POPs all across the globe. These POPs are interconnected, so we are in many data centers. These data centers are interlinked. They have capacity between them, and basically you can connect locally wherever you are. You can connect with the ports, and you can exchange traffic with all the other members and get access to many services. You can basically, we offer the aggregated traffic of more than 20 internet exchange points. We also offer IP transits. We offer security solutions. The idea is that while you connect locally in one data center, you get access to the world, in short.
Is there a thing which you don't do?
Well, we do many things. We also do many complicated telco solutions, because NetIX, the mother company of NetIX, is Neterra. It's a very well-known ISP from Bulgaria. And as NetIX, we basically leverage the existing capacities and the existing network of Neterra.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Last but not least, and actually you were the first already to kick this session off. So thank you very much, and thank you for IPB to sponsor this panel session. Stefan, please introduce, if you need any introduction, but please introduce yourself to the world.
I said nearly everything in this short slot, but maybe there's one point we can talk about, because this is challenging in the future. So of course, all of that stuff we're doing as well as some cloud services and of course network services. We are internet service provider in the roots, and but this all wouldn't happen if we had staff that won't know what they do. So that's challenging for the future. That we all have some special services. So it isn't just very easy to operate an internet exchange point, for example, or a data center. This needs staff that is very good educated. That's challenging. So this is just one point that I can say thank you that we have that stuff here. But of course, over the next decades, the digital industry is getting more importance. So we are dependent on that services. Every production is dependent on that services, not only media, but production in the future with the upcoming 5G networks, for example. So we need stuff for that themes, and that is one challenging point we will have as a companion that is always there. It's not that easy in that point, but the market, of course, is driven by tremendous growth of data, and it's connected to our individual life. We can choose at which time we want to see a TV broadcast session, because it's not broadcast anymore, but it's pure individual. We all have the possibilities to have a more individual life, and that is driving the exchange of data and then the need of data streaming. And that is moving all of us here, needing more capacities for data. So we have still more fiber to come into the earth, and so that is all, of course, part of our topics we can discuss. But what can we move? So we have to bring the things together, and that's what we can talk about, to put the things together: exchange points, cables, and data centers. That is the recipe to get a digital business and a digital even democracy to work.
No, absolutely right. And John, maybe you want to elaborate a little bit.
Yeah, I think you hit on a very important note, actually. And the word I think I heard was personalization, because that's not broadcast anymore. It's narrowcast, and it's narrowcast to you, and to you, and to you, right? So it's just your personal information, what you have on Facebook, what you have on Instagram, and all these, I don't know if I'm allowed to say those names, but all this is, it's individual channels to you, personalization. And that has an enormous impact, I think, and the consequences for the whole industries that we're in, right? It generates much more data, much more analysis needs to be done, many more feeds, right? Because different people like different things. You go have all these feeds connected to all these individuals all the time, wherever they are. I mean, that's a huge, that's a lot of technology there to be able to do that. And I think that's why a huge driver for the industry. Yeah, sorry, just thought I'd add that.
No. You can take my job anytime. That's not a problem. I'm happy to leave it on my seat for you. No, but and gentlemen, I mean, Jens and Maxime, please bump in and jump in this let's say living room discussion which we're having amongst the experts, actually.
Yeah.
Because of course, I mean, let's face it. I mean, we are in, let's say, new times. Some people call it the new normal, whatever. I call it new times, and we addressed it already with the examples of us, the GCCM, actually organizing what we're organizing as we do today, and a great thanks to all the contributors to that. And I guess it's not possible without the pipes in the ground, the ISPs, the IXs, and the data centers, and actually even more out there and the operators who make things possible. But Maxime, if I may move a little bit and then shift a little bit to Moscow, and from your expertise, because we still need to address a little bit. What changed, let's say, business-wise for you guys in this over the last 6 months?
Actually, the first thing what I already mentioned is that the life somehow reinvented itself, the carrier role and wholesale carrier role in the world. Yeah, because as I mentioned, so we just clearly became the if you will, digital blood of economies and the societies, right? And we experienced, based on our experience, we over the course of just 1 month, our international capacity dropped dramatically. So like just I think it's this growth was manifold higher than usual during usual times. And another interesting thing that even though that expectations were that it was like a peak growth and peak demand, which will be followed by some certain level of decline, nobody would say at this moment, after a number of months already in this situation, that this prediction came true. Yeah, so like just it's dropped, and then that was like, and now it's continued to grow. Yeah, to grow the traffic. So that's why I can only say that nothing has changed from my point of view in terms of digital life. It was like it became just much more important than before. And all this new phenomenon of if you can imagine, let's say, I couldn't imagine 1 year ago that some people will be competing on creativeness of the background, Zoom backgrounds, right? Or something like that. So it's like it's a new thing, a new toy for the people, and new reality. And humans remain humans, right? In this situation, and then we just find some new ways to entertain ourselves, to make ourselves brief and brave, right? Talking about and so from this point of view, I don't think that so just something has changed by nature. This the process of growth just reinforced and expedited manifold. So, and that would definitely dictate what we are going to do next year, this year, later, and next year. And actually, we definitely, so a lot of carriers are reconsidering now the approaches into the services and the status of network, in both in terms of the quality and quantity. Yeah, the capacity and the some smart features so of transport network, etc., and also new business models. Yeah, I can give you example that even thought that now are quite complicated time in terms of economy for a lot of companies. Of course, we couldn't say the same about the digital companies and telcos, because we both are doing quite and feel quite well, but the rest of the economy is under pressure for sure. But apart from this complicated times, for instance, we have started recently a new project to build a completely new trans-Russia internet backbone, not internet backbone, but actually fiber backbone. And that would be our response to the growth of demand and our expectations on the even increasing role of communications and on the carrier actually structures and the business. Yeah, so in our case, and for us, that would mean one of the topics we were going to discuss on this session is the new business model, right? New business models, and that would definitely be a new business model for for Russia. So because we are going to start to sell the dark fiber infrastructure on the long haul. So it's completely new thing, even though that it's usual service for Western Europe and for US and some other territories. For Russia, it's definitely a new thing, but we do feel that we need to change the rules. We need to change the role a big national carriers should play in the national transformation, continue to so digital transformation of domestic networks, but also international services, international traffic streams, and then based on this, based on these inputs, we do feel, and we took this ambitious goal to change actually even traffic pattern between continents. So within just 3-4 years.
Okay, Eric. Yep, that's you.
That's me.
It still is. On the IX side, what has changed? What did you see? And maybe even what do you expect?
Yeah, well, as an internet exchange point, what we've seen in the last months is that it's even more important than before to work very closely together with your partners.
Give us an example.
So, for example, as an internet exchange point, we work very closely together with data centers like our Mountain and Carrier Colo, and many other data centers. We work with the carriers in the wholesale industry. We work with CDNs. We work with IP Transit. And to give a concrete example, at the moment as NetAX, we are expanding into new POP locations.
Yes.
We do that in the US. We recently built out in New York, in Ashburn, in Miami. We're also looking at new locations in Asia and even here in Germany. We're now working with IPB, for example, and I can announce that very soon our services will be available in IPB, in Carrier Colo, Berlin.
There's our scoop, guys.
There's one new thing.
Thank you.
We're also working on Hamburg, and so we're investing in Germany and in other parts of the world. But in order to arrange this, there's a lot of things that needs to be done. You need to, normally you would send out a couple of engineers to build out, but that's not possible anymore in these times. So you very much rely on your data center to help you. So it's very important to have a good relationship, have a good partnership, have good communication with them in order to manage the expectations. You need to be able to trust them and making sure that they can deliver and vice versa. So in sum, I think in the last couple of months, what we've learned is that these partnerships are very valuable and became even more important than they already were.
Okay. Stefan, can you elaborate a little bit on this?
That's exactly our experience, or some kind from the other side. So our partners, of course, are mostly our customers in the colocation, and so we had a lot of orders for more cross connects during April and May. That is, of course, due to Corona, but it's just an enhancement of redundancies at our customers. So I think that's the point that we could celebrate ourselves all the day, because we are on the one hand on the lucky side in this crisis, because we deliver the basic services that are needed to have the things rolling and to have this communication, which is the most important part to get over this crisis, communicate together, and we are delivering the infrastructure for that. But the good thing in this crisis is that all the industry has been ready for it. So no service that we need today has been invented during the last 3 months. It all has been ready for service somehow. So we had little bottlenecks of bandwidth, but it's like that. So there were no complaints about heavy lacks of bandwidth or network availability. And that has something to do with the philosophy of this whole business. So we all want to sleep well. So we build a lot of capacity. we built 2 chillers, and not only 1 chiller, 2 generators, not only 1, 2 UPS systems, etc. So that's all we are doing. And
just to be ready.
Just to be ready for the day X, and we have the day X now. But the day X will be a period X. So it's good that we have all the spaces, and that what Maxine mentioned is there is a need of new business models. But in the end, we don't have to reinvent the whole industry that we are operating in.
We need to enhance it.
We do enhance it, and that's what's happening. That's so for the last month, it was a strong partnership with the players with another, so carriers with colocation operators, and of course service operators, cloud operators with eyeball networks, and all that fits pretty well together. So if we won't have that would really be dangerous, because that would lead to a total lockdown. So what would we do else than Zooming or Googling or working with this network? And so that's a good point, that we have been ready due to the architecture of the internet itself. It was made for this, and it's working pretty well. So that's good, and that's that let us sleep well.
No, because it's a good point of what you're saying, actually, because nobody knew that this would come or would happen. And the architecture was already built within the robustness, which is reliability, which is security, which is name it. And so the architecture and the robustness of it was already there. And again, of course, then if something happens, then at least we can address it almost overnight. And that's what we did, and that's what happened, and that's what we saw. Maybe left and right, we had a little bit, or maybe that burstable contract was not in place, but everything was possible, and for everything there was a solution. Now, Jens, your view on this one. What do you have some characteristics of the let's say the past couple of months, and how do you see that we can fill in any other gaps? And as already rightly, I think was mentioned, that new strategies or actually more, let's say, renewed business models where partnership is more and more key, actually, and you have to rely on each other. Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Absolutely. So not to repeat what the gentleman said before,
Sure.
what they have said is completely right.
Yeah.
And so in this situation, the industry has proven and could prove that the systems are working, which was kind of a, really hard test. But at the end, the traffic, how the traffic has grown, has shifted a little bit from, let's say, the normal growth that comes from business and from business models and from hyperscalers. Really now, the growth came for practical things, that people were working from home, so the traffic has increased, the social media traffic has increased, and the industry has proven that it has worked out pretty well. However, so we also have seen a lot of challenges that are upcoming with it, and it starts with a very critical thing. And very essential thing is, like Stefan just said, he saw an increase of cross connects, for instance. And, and all of a sudden, as a supplier or vendor, you have to deal with a situation that you have a restricted access to a data center. So you cannot perform a cross connect like you were used to do. So, and that was for some of our customers was a real headache, and we were happy that we had a good concept and plan in place that we still could perform also for our customers, where we are their producers, their factory at the edge, that we could support them, because nobody was allowed to travel easily. So nobody could come to Frankfurt, nobody could perform and work in our data centers in their racks. So we had to do it and we had to support them. So it was that was quite critical, of course, because also there is a human resource issue at the end, because you only have a limited amount of people available. And you need to ensure that these are the right people, the skilled people, and moreover, you have to ensure that you have the access to the data center when you need it. So that was quite a critical point for us that we have pointed out at the very, very beginning, because we were pretty clear that everybody in the company could work from home. A part of it is who need to do physical works. So, and of course, this was then driving some of our initiatives and ideas as well. So when we are talking about new business models, it's not like, so how can we enhance on the existing ones? And it was pretty clear, because all what you have said is right. So the access increases, the cross connects increases, the demand on data center increases, fiber to the home demand increases, or 5G increases, because you need to get the access somewhere to your house. You need to be able to connect to get a good connection via the internet, and not the bottleneck in the last mile. So all of these things are very, very important. But what we really need also to do as an industry, and what we need to look at, is how do we further digitalize the today physical work? So how do we continue to connecting the today hybrid dots with platforms that are pre-configured, so that we get all the different types of partners on platforms together globally, so that we just need to connect them via VLANs that can be configured via a portal by the companies itself, or you ask your supplier to do it for you on behalf of the company. And that is what we have figured out, and where we are using also to start our platform that we have live since almost 2 years, that we start to use this build this platform more as an aggregator platform to get really to get the various dots connected, or the possibility to get the dots connected. So to need to get the net IXs of this world to get on the platform, cloud providers getting hybrid public cloud providers on the platform, carriers connected on the platform, other IXs connected on the platform, VoIP providers connected on the platform, and so that we are ready. And of course, yeah, I would love to say it would be globally available. Of course, it's not, but starting from 4 or 5 platform installation, it will have already a lot, and it will help us to further digitalize so that we are less independent for engineers that need to go on site and need to perform, for instance, a cross connect or make a physical installation. That's for us, I would not say a lesson learned, but that's definitely the point where we are thinking how we need to further invest time and money to support the industry and to be ready for the next event that's for sure will happen at one day. So that's what we saw. Of course, the whole pandemic has shown an increase in smaller IXs. Of course, people work more from home. They meet less people in reality. There's a huge demand on social media contacts or on business data that need to be transferred because they're working from home. So, which is a pretty good thing for the whole industry, because the reason is not good, but the push for the industry is enormous for all, whether you're in the data center business, in the IX business, colo, dark fiber, connectivity business. This is really huge. Mm-hmm. Yeah, again, I was pretty happy to see that the industry is ready, and that obviously the industry had enough resources, technical as well, human resources to perform. Mm-hmm. Because as I think Stefan said it, and I think you cannot say it more better, it's so essential that we're having a good internet that works, that we have good data center that are working, that we have good carriers that are performing with their services, and that we have good managed service providers that are performing with their services. And yeah, this is very essential, and also that the partners need to work more closer together. There need to be lots of trust level. between these partners. We are, even when you are exploring new markets or new regions where you have not worked in before. So that's the challenge, I would say, but also it's a great opportunity for the industry for the next level, I would say.
Okay, thank you.
Interesting wise, what we could see is like, as we also, Frankfurt, of course, let's say for new telco, that's our capital, our flagship, but also we have data centers in Kiev and in Tbilisi. And this is the business was steady growing. But there was not a big certain interest for hyperscaler to come in. But now, because of the pandemic situation and the increase of the traffic, social, private, as well business wise, all of a sudden they have been showing huge interest in those places. So also this is a very good sign for IXs that are, let's say, more on the edge or not in the center as they were from before. They will definitely grow with this demand as well.
Thank you, John. Where do you see the challenges and for me?
I think to go back to what Stefan was saying earlier about our readiness to meet the current situation, I would just like to add scalability to that. I think that's also what you were trying to say, yeah. And I think that's a challenge for the future. We have to be able to make everything, the whole jigsaw, scalable. We have bits of it now. Fortunately, the right bits. We're able to scale up and scale down, which is important as well if needed, right? If you get an emergency, you scale up, then you can scale down. If you can't scale down, not everybody will scale up because it will be too expensive. And I think the other point, actually, where we're going to see tremendous change, I think, in the future, is actually what Jens was just alluding to, and that is what I call digital touch points for the customers. Simple example, cross connects, right? I mean, but if you have a portal where you can put all the information in, right? You don't need your engineer to go in there to fix it up, right? The site engineer, the company engineer, the data center engineer can take that information and he can do it for you. So you don't need physical access from the customer's engineer. So that's a simple example. And that's post-sales. But you can also see that those digital touch points going more forward into the process, into the ordering process. It's in the billing process already, into the sales process maybe, automatic, for simple stuff, automatic offer generation, this kind of thing. So I think all those digital touch points, I think we'll see much more emphasis on that because people can't meet people at the moment and do stuff that they used to do. That's one reason. Plus, I think there was a natural gravitation towards that anyway. Use technology and automate, I think, is a key word. So automate as much as you can. So I think we'll see a much greater emphasis on automation.
Okay. Yeah. Just a quick round, guys, because I'm watching the clock and I think we could sit here for another hour. Easily. But we have to, I think we can admit and we can confirm actually, we actually did quite a good job.
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Yeah.
We did. The things are still challenges, still opportunities are there. So what I want to do with you gentlemen is do a quick round. I'm not sure if we still have Maxine Maxine left already. So but Jens is still there on the, let's say, on the virtual side with us. So keep tuned. Another couple of minutes. So a quick round. Maybe Jens, with you to start. What can we expect, except from falling glasses here on the floor? But what else can we expect from you guys in the near future? And please.
So what you can expect from us is definitely you will see a more automated platform that is connecting the dots. So we will enhance on our NCX platform. We use it to expand on the ecosystem and to think out of the box to get also companies connected or offering the ports to participate on the platform that we have not thought before. because now with the situation we see that what is really demanding on traffic and who has a need to interconnect or build a connection to other partners, and that's what we will continuously work on and what you can expect us to see.
Cool, thank you. Eric,
Yes.
is he on the right track?
I think so. Yeah, we're moving in the same direction. You would see from NetIX in the future. Also.
Exactly what you just mentioned.
Eric, I need you on our NCX platform, please.
Yeah, I think we should have a talk after this one.
I feel it not scoop up, man. Feel it not scoop up. But you were saying one important thing. We are on the right track.
We are on the right track.
So,
yeah. And we will see more automation, like John already mentioned. That's a very important thing. And as an internet exchange point, which used to be mainly a traffic aggregation point, what you will see happening now that as an internet exchange point, we will offer more value-added services as well. For example, direct access to clouds, cybersecurity solutions, and also private peering communities. So for certain communities who are not used to being connected.
We didn't touch this subject, but you're right, yeah.
But they will be interested to join as well if they can do it in a private setting. Well, basically not over the public internet, but in a separate closed user community. That will be the new way forward and developing new business models based on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
John.
Yeah,
Some
I mean,
famous last words from you, sir?
just to reiterate what we've already said, I think automation, right? Because of the current situation, we need that, right? You can't have the people coming in and out.
It's available and it's needed now.
It's inevitable, and it's inevitable also from a technology perspective. That is the way forward, right? You know, I mean, these poor health carriers that used to take, I think, weeks. I mean, I've been in that business. It used to take weeks or months even to connect fibers together, to put, optical equipment in and turn it all up and test it. Well, it's all there now. I mean, it's on somebody's screen somewhere. It's just in a knob, and somebody just has to, flick a software switch, right? Push the button to turn it on, and that used to be in them, but now that can be with the customer. That's the point. So it's going further. That automation is going out from the owner of the technology, let's say, or the service, to the customer and to the potential customers. So I think that's where we'll see a tremendous, change in the future. Anyone will be able to order services of any kind on their laptop.
Stefan, to wrap it up.
I'm riding on the same train, so it's exactly what we have to do. So the key is automation, of course, for all of our services and to deliver the services
flawlessly
to the customers. And one reason for that is not only to have more control over the services and to be quicker if there's an incident or so. So you have all in a digital form, then you can react quickly. And as I said, we have difficulties to find qualified staff, and it's not easy to do that job. So if you have a lot of control so we all have DevOps teams for what we are doing. In the end, we have some physics up and running, switches, cables, data centers, and infrastructure. But the automation is a way to get closer to the customer and to deliver a more reliable service.
Yeah.
And final point: if we keep an eye on redundancy and having more local internet exchanges, that's a point that's important to me. Then we can keep up our redundancy and have this team as well.
You are the proof
as we have it.
You are the proof.
Yeah.
With IPB, you're the proof.
Yeah.
So, gentlemen, we have to, and everybody out there. Is there maybe a question from the audience live here in Berlin? Some questions from out there in the world. If not, then I would like to really thank you, gentlemen, for being on the panel. So Maxime, from us, a big, maybe you hear us somewhere. You're not among us anymore, but thank you very much. Jens,
Next
Super.
time,
Dankeschön.
love to see you in person again.
Thank you so much. We as well. John, as always, thank you. Eric,
Pleasure.
thank you for showing us the way, and Stefan, thank you very much. Thank you for sponsoring via IPB. Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, we are ready for it. We can deliver. We know our challenges, and we're gonna make it. And these guys told us just how they're gonna do this. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Stay tuned, because tomorrow there are even more very interesting panel sessions going on here, which will be broadcasted via the DCCM via Webinar.Live with Birgit and Arun, who will be here. So for now, I'll say I would like to say ciao. Thank you so much, and Laura, the floor is yours. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Dear all, we are at the end of this session. I would like to thank Stefan very much for his lovely welcome note, Eric for moderating, and all panelists for sharing the knowledge. And that's it for today, and I will see you in our panels tomorrow. Enjoy.
Thank you. Thank you for staying so long.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye for now.
Thank you, Jens. Ciao.
Thank
you. See you soon.
Thank you.
Enjoy Berlin. Bye.
Okay.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, gentlemen.